Now, during our second year at home together, I decided to become involved in local civic issues. One key issue of interest was police-citizen relations in our county and city. Another was a long history of diversity, inclusion, and sensitivity challenges in our city school system. I hope that this engagement would introduce me to community activists and that we would strategize and align our mutual efforts to create change. Now, I wish I could tell you that we were successful in our change efforts, but we were not. Our efforts to organize did not go very well, which means that the efforts to create change were not sustained. We could do it for a while and fell off. All was not lost, though. During these naps that you would take every day, I would sit by your crib, try to understand why everything fell apart. And I think I can tell you now why they might have. See, we are still a nation at the crossroads, one that can be easily compromised by what I call weapons of mass distraction. We can't keep our focus. Now, our challenge is still to stop choking on all this smoke and to stop falling for the good old okie doke. So when folks choose their side in a conflict, the right side, I share a message of hope and accountability to both factions, regardless of whose side you're on. First element of that message is try to understand the flaws of your position. Conquer your conceit, you'll be able to conquer defeat. Because we've all believed in something only to find out later that it was not quite what we thought it was. When I was little, for me it was the boogeyman. See, the boogeyman does not exist. You couldn't tell me that when I was 4 years old. No, another one for me, ex-girlfriends. When you're together, you put them on these pedestals, you idolize them. And then afterwards you realize, man, it never was what you thought it was. Never was that. Professional wrestling, or what we call wrestling, pure entertainment, but you couldn't tell me that when I was 10. Santa Claus, ugh, Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, and on and on and on and on. Be forthcoming about your side's shortcomings, especially in including future unintended consequences, other elements of issues that you don't understand. Just admit that you don't. Inform your perceptions, challenge your assumptions, and influence your circle to engage in civil discourse, especially with dissenters. It will promote growth on both sides. Second key, sometimes let go. Sometimes let no. The Bible contains a passage that almost seems to contradict itself until you examine it a little more closely. It's Proverbs 26, verses 5 and 4. In the New International Version, it reads, "Do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be just like him." Then it says, "Answer a fool according to his folly, or he will be wise in his own eyes." See, that simply says, pick your battles and make sure you fight the right fight. And believe me, there are times where you will have to fight. Third key. Sometimes the cause masks the agenda. Slavery was once a policy, a law that opposing factions, opposing sides argued for and against with great passion. Prohibition was another such policy, being able to consume alcohol or not being able to consume alcohol. Denying the right to vote to people because of their skin color or gender. Yet another policy. This used to be a law in our country. Policies are created, challenged, and changed by self-interested humans who may be guided by ambition and myopia as much as they are by principles and convictions. Fourth key. Sometimes our cause masks our own issues. Our media is littered with assumptions, perceptions, intentional manipulations, meaningless data, half-truths, also referred to as true lies, innuendo, and outright vitriol. Weapons of mass distraction are produced and consumed daily by folks who just love to argue. They justify both their passions and their vices by stating noble, well-meaning intentions, and by using famous quotes as subtle, self-congratulating endorsements. Martin Luther King Jr., we apologize. Boy, we apologize. Watch this though. Folks who love to argue may not always do so because of this passion that they speak of. They might just love to argue.